The Sumerians claimed they witnessed something impossible. Not a sign, not a vision, but an event. One night, without warning, the sky split open with a blast of white fire, turning midnight into day. A roaring wind tore across the desert, and from that blinding light, shapes descended, towering figures wrapped in shimmering metal, moving as if gravity meant nothing to them. People fell to their knees, animals scattered, and the world for a moment felt like it had stopped. The Sumerians didn't call these beings gods. They called them Anunnaki, the ones who descended from the sky. But what terrified them wasn't the arrival, it was what came after. The first sign was found buried beneath a fallen Sumerian temple. A cracked clay tablet, edges burnt, as if it survived something violent. The carving on it is hurried, desperate. A star splitting open. A figure descending from the sky. Scholars dismiss it as myth, but the writing beside it feels different, almost like a witness account. It describes the sky darkening, the ground trembling, and the ones from above returning with a single message. The cycle begins again. Something frightened the people who carved this, something they believed would return. And now we must ask, what kind of cycle were they terrified of repeating? What happened in Sumer should have been a lone story, an isolated moment lost in the sands of time. But it wasn't, because far from Mesopotamia, buried beneath the cracked earth of a forgotten Anatolian valley, researchers uncovered something that should not exist. A colossal stone column, half collapsed, its surface scorched as if struck by heat from the sky, and carved at the top, faint but unmistakable, is the same image the Sumerians described during the night of the descending light. A burning disk and a winged figure reaching down toward the earth. At first, archaeologists dismissed it as artistic coincidence. But the moment the symbol was scanned into a recognition system, everything changed. The software linked it to two more sources: Sumer, Anatolia, and a pre-dynastic Egyptian relic carved centuries before either civilization rose. Three cultures, oceans and deserts apart, three timelines that never touched, and yet they recorded the same event. This isn't coincidence anymore. It's a pattern, a global memory of something humanity witnessed and tried desperately not to forget. To the Sumerians, the Anunnaki were not distant myths. They were a presence, radiant figures descending in storms of fire and wind. But the deeper you dig into their stories, the more unsettling the pattern becomes. The Anunnaki didn't just arrive once. They appeared multiple times across history, always at the edge of catastrophe. When floods swallowed entire kingdoms, the Sumerians wrote that the Anunnaki were seen in the sky. When stars shifted out of their proper place, priests claimed the beings returned, watching silently. And when entire cultures vanished without a trace, the same phrase resurfaced again and again. Watch the sign, not pray, not worship. Watch, as if the Anunnaki expected humanity to remember something vital, something dangerous, that we were destined to forget. Across ruins separated by oceans and millennia, the same tiny cluster of lights appears carved into stone. Not a constellation, not a symbol, a pattern. And here is the impossible part. This cluster is invisible to the naked eye today. You can only see it through advanced modern telescopes. So how did ancient civilizations without lenses, electricity, or recorded astronomy draw something hidden in the deep sky? Some believe the Anunnaki revealed it to them, but others think the carvings aren't showing stars at all. They look more like a trajectory, a path, a cosmic object moving across ages, returning at intervals too vast for any single civilization to understand. The Sumerians wrote that this roaming light brought upheaval every time it passed overhead. Floods, darkness, vanishing kingdoms, and each time the Anunnaki appeared in the sky, watching. If that path is real, then the question becomes terrifyingly simple. What happens when it reaches us again? In 1923, beneath a collapsed Sumerian structure buried under centuries of sand, researchers found something that shouldn't have existed: a sealed chamber with no visible entrance, no doorway, no tunnel, no structural purpose. It was as if the builders wanted the room hidden forever. Inside, it lay a single tablet, broken, scorched, and wrapped in a fabric that crumbled at a touch. When translated, the message drained the color from the researchers' faces. Independent astronomers and fringe researchers have begun comparing ancient records with modern data, and the results are unsettling. The cycle described by the Sumerians appears to match a pattern of cosmic disruptions that occur every few thousand years. Massive solar storms, violent shifts in Earth's magnetic field, unexplained radiation bursts, sudden climate collapses. Ancient cultures survived the last cycle only by carving their warnings into the most permanent materials they had: stone, crystal, basalt monuments aligned perfectly to the stars. But now, every indicator those civilizations documented is repeating, faster, stronger. The magnetic poles are drifting at record speed. Solar activity is spiking unpredictably. Weather patterns are breaking in ways no model predicted. If this is the cycle returning, then the ancients weren't just recording history. They were trying to save the future. If the Anunnaki were real, they may have witnessed these cycles long before humanity existed. Their warnings, scattered across continents, may not be mythology at all, but desperate attempts to help the next age survive what the last one could not. But buried among the warnings is something stranger. Some carvings don't show destruction. They show light descending from the sky. A circular opening, a figure standing inside it. The Sumerians described these moments not as endings, but as arrivals, returns, interventions at the edge of disaster. Which leads to the most haunting question of all. Were the Anunnaki preparing us for a threat, or preparing themselves to come back when the cycle began again? And if the cycle is restarting now, are they already on their way? In 2017, a satellite scanning the deserts of southern Iraq captured something impossible: geometric formations buried beneath the sand. From ground level, they looked like ordinary ruins, but from above, they formed a perfect circle, split by a radiant line. The ancient symbol, the same one carved in temples, caves, and tablets across the world. At the center of the circle lies a polished stone platform, too smooth to be natural, too deliberate to be chance. A symbol meant to be seen from the sky, not by humans, by the ones who left it. So were these ruins a warning about something approaching, or a signal for whoever? No one knows why the ancients carved the same warnings. No one knows who they were meant for. And no one knows whether the Anunnaki were guardians, or something far more powerful. But the symbols are still here. The patterns are still repeating, and the cycle might already be turning. If you enjoyed this journey, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and join us again in the Mystery Room, where the past never stays silent, and every question only leads to a deeper one. Until next time, stay curious, stay aware, and remember, some mysteries were never meant to be forgotten. Welcome to the Mystery Room.